Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, where we dive into the most insightful and inspiring books. Today we're exploring a transformative book focused on harnessing the power of a positive mental attitude to achieve success. Whether you're looking to uplift your personal life or catapult your professional career, this summary will equip you with key principles that can lead to profound changes. So, make sure you stick around till the end to discover how you can shift your mindset and unlock new possibilities. Do you have a goal that you truly want to achieve? Are you eager to learn how to eliminate anger, fear, and self-doubt? Do you wish to enhance your motivation and the ability to steadfastly pursue your dreams? If your answer is yes, then this book is for you. Napoleon Hill discusses various principles essential for success and consistently emphasizes the importance of a positive mental attitude for leading a fulfilling life. In this summary, you will hear stories from many different individuals that are not only intriguing but also highly inspiring. You will learn how to unleash the power of a positive mental attitude where the road to achievement begins. C.B. Fuller was the son of a farmer in Louisiana. Fuller began working on the farm at the tender age of 5. The people in his small village had resigned themselves to their poverty, believing that no matter what, they would always remain poor because it was God's will. However, Fuller's mother told him, "It is not God's will that we are poor. Your father never desired to be wealthy. He never tried to earn money by doing something else." As Fuller grew up, his heartfelt desire was to earn a significant amount of money. His passion was evident. He believed that the easiest way to make money was to sell something. So he started selling soap and continued this for 12 years. One day, the company that supplied him with soap decided to sell their business for $150,000. Fuller considered buying the company. He used his savings of $25,000 from the past 12 years to make the first payment. He then promised to pay the remaining $125,000 within the next 10 days. During his 12 years in the small soap business, Fuller had built a strong network with various businessmen. With their help, he raised $115,000. However, he was still $10,000 short. On the night of the 10th day, Fuller drove around determined not to return until he found a business organization that could help. Soon after, he saw a light on in a contractor's office. He went inside and confidently asked, "Would you like to earn an $11,000 profit?" The contractor agreed. Fuller promptly said, "Then you need to lend me $10,000. He showed the contractor a list of businessmen who had lent him money and explained his soap business. As Fuller left, he had a check for $10,000 in his pocket. The next morning, he became the owner of the company that he once bought supplies from. Fuller's secret to success was knowing what he wanted and continually moving forward with a positive mental attitude to turn his dreams into reality. You see, every person possesses a hidden magical talisman with two sides, like a coin. One side is PMA, the positive mental attitude, and the other is NMA, the negative mental attitude. It solely depends on you which side you choose. Imagine wearing this magical talisman every day. You have tremendous power within you, and you can choose between PMA or NMA. If you choose PMA, you are undoubtedly going to achieve great success. You can change your world. Irvin Ben Cooper was one of the most respected judges in America. However, when he was young, he was one of the most cowardly kids in his village. Ben spent his childhood near a shanty in Missouri. His family had come to settle there from another country. His parents worked as tailors, and their family had to make do with very little money. Ben used to pick up coal from the railway tracks to take home so they could burn it at night to keep warm and avoid sleeping in the freezing cold. Often on his way, 3 bully boys would wait for him, ready to beat him up. Because of this, fear settled in Ben's mind. During his free time, Ben used to read stories written by Horatio Alger, which depicted tales of brave heroes. Reading about their bravery inspired Ben to be courageous as well. The tales of courage instilled a positive mental attitude in his subconscious mind. A few months later, Ben went back towards the railway tracks. He saw the three bully boys approaching him. For a moment, Ben felt the urge to run away, but the confidence gained from those books had made him strong. Ben decided to confront the boys. Not only did he stand up to them, but when a fight broke out, he fought back fiercely. This time it was the bullies who fled in fear. From that day onwards, Ben was never a victim of fear again. Do you wonder what was so special about that day? That day, Ben had considered himself as the hero of Alger's books, and as a result, he gave a strong response to the bullies. This belief remained with him as he grew. He went on to study law and used the law to punish many gangsters. Ben provided the best defense possible for the oppressed. In this way, he gradually became a successful judge. You too can change your life like Ben did. Perhaps you are currently struggling with financial difficulties or facing challenges every day. But always remember that if you change your mindset and behavior, you can change any situation. Imagine facing a difficult situation or being with someone who is very upset. If you show a little compassion and positivity, you will eventually solve that problem. Getting angry or reacting negatively is easy. But if something is difficult, it is to change oneself. You can try, can't you? The moment you change your behavior, you will start attracting good and positive things into your life. Clear the cobwebs from your thinking. Once there was a Greek philosopher who lived in a town by the sea. He wanted to travel to Carthage. Being a logical and wise man, he began to list on paper the reasons why he should not make the journey to Carthage. He noted that there were many risks involved, such as getting sick from the boat ride. Possibly his boat could not withstand a storm and might sink. Or he could be captured by pirates and turned into a slave. All these risks indicated that he should not travel. However, his desire to go was very strong. Thus, he set out on the journey, and remarkably, he reached his destination comfortably and returned home safely. Today, you are what you are because of your thoughts. What you think and how you think depends solely on you. When you blame others, feel sorry for yourself, and make excuses, you fill your mind with a negative mental attitude. You need to clear these cobwebs from your mind. Suppose there's a misunderstanding with someone. First, look within yourself. You might realize that the problem is that you have filled yourself with negative thoughts. Therefore, don't blame others. First, become positive yourself. Will you dare to explore the powers of your mind? Ralph Webner had a severe handicap. To be continued. Heart attack. Ralph was immediately taken to the hospital. After some time, he slipped into a coma. On one side, his family prayed fervently to God. On the other, the team of doctors did everything they could. Even after 6 hours, there was no improvement in Ralph's condition. The doctor left the room, assigning the responsibility of his care to 2 nurses. Ralph could not move any part of his body, but he could hear the voices of the 2 nurses. He heard one of them say, "I think he's not breathing. Do you hear anything?" The other replied, "No." They repeated this several times. Ralph heard them but could not show that he was still alive. He couldn't even gesture with his finger. In this situation, Ralph remembered a story about self-motivation he had read some time ago. It said, "If you truly believe you can do something, you can indeed achieve it." Remembering this, he tried to open his eyes, but initially failed. Ralph tried again, commanding his eyes to open. After some effort, he heard a nurse say, "I saw his eyelid flutter. This patient is still alive." Ralph kept trying, and eventually one of his eyes opened. Soon after, both did. The nurse immediately called the doctor, and they began efforts to fully revive him. Our minds are divided into 2 parts, the conscious and the subconscious. These 2 parts work together. Your mind possesses many known and unknown mysterious powers. If these powers are used correctly, They can bring you happiness and success. Your subconscious mind sends messages to your conscious mind, so you should fill your subconscious with positive thoughts. Write your goals on paper and read them every day with 100% focus and belief. For example, if your goal is to become wealthy, write, "My goal is to be a millionaire by 2025. Your goal should be crystal clear, with no room for confusion. Repeat it daily. In this way, you prepare your subconscious mind, and soon you will find a way to turn this goal into reality. In 1939, North Michigan Avenue in Chicago was a business area facing a significant problem. 90% of its corporate buildings had no tenants, and Chicago's real estate market was surrounded by negativity. Suddenly, one day, a building manager arrived with a positive mental attitude. Within a year, every apartment in his building was rented out. How did he achieve this? The answer is that the building manager knew exactly what he wanted. He set a clear target for himself. He knew that if his plan failed, he had nothing to lose. But if he succeeded, he stood to gain a great deal. Therefore, he took the risk. He offered the apartments for rent for a year. He thought if the tenants decided to leave at the end of the year, he would renovate his office again. This was also wise because it would increase the real estate value. Additionally, new tenants prefer offices with modern designs. While others were complaining or quitting their jobs, this manager turned the problem into an opportunity. As a result, while the neighboring buildings remained empty, every apartment in this manager's building was filled with tenants. We all face our own problems in life, whether personal, family-related, or work-related, but only those who transform these challenges into opportunities truly succeed. Learn to see. George Campbell was born unable to see due to bilateral congenital cataracts. Despite his parents doing everything possible for his treatment, there was no cure available from the doctors. George's parents never let him feel as though he was blind. By the time he was 6, he never felt like he lacked anything. One day while playing, George's friend forgot he was blind and threw a ball towards him, exclaiming, "Hey, look out, you're going to get hit by the ball." But by then, the ball had already hit George. He wasn't hurt, but he was surprised that he hadn't known the ball was coming his way. Why didn't he see it coming? When he got home, he asked his mother this question. His mother lovingly took his hand and for the first time told him that he was blind, explaining it with a positive mental attitude. She said, "These 5 fingers represent our 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. Each sense organ sends signals to our brain." Then she closed one of George's fingers and said, "Your sense organ for sight does not work." Afterward, his mother tossed the ball towards him and George caught it. "My dear, you don't need all 5 sense organs to be happy." George understood this and used it as self-motivation. As George reached high school, he learned more about his condition. He discovered a complicated surgery that could potentially correct his condition. It was risky, but George was ready to take that risk. Ultimately, George's faith paid off and the surgery was successful. For the first time in his life, George could see. At first, he couldn't recognize his mother, but when he heard her voice, he immediately knew who she was. It was an incredibly special and memorable moment for his family. We all think that we see with our eyes, but in reality, we see what our brain shows us. Therefore, we should always send proper messages to our brain. If we maintain a positive mental attitude, we will always see the goodness and positivity in every situation of life and in everyone we meet. The secret of getting things done. Neil was a college student in Copenhagen, Denmark, who worked as a tourist guide during the summer. He had performed exceptionally well in his job, and some Americans, pleased with his work, invited him to visit their home in Chicago and even sponsored his visit to Washington, D.C. Upon arriving in Washington, Neil went to his hotel room and suddenly realized that one of his bags containing his wallet and passport was missing. He searched everywhere but couldn't find it. Worried, he called a friend in Denmark who suggested he should go to the embassy or the police. However, Neil decided against it. He thought about how he had only one day to explore Washington and didn't want to waste it dealing with the embassy or police. With just $2 in his pocket, he chose to walk around the city. He visited the White House, the Capitol, and the Washington Monument. Along the way, he bought some candy and peanuts. He found the day quite exciting and enjoyable, thinking of it as a unique experience he would remember later. Neil figured that he might not get such an opportunity again, so why should he ruin it just because he lost some belongings? He decided to fully enjoy his day. Neil adopted a positive mental attitude and managed to attract only positive things. A week later, the police informed him that they had found his belongings. Whenever your subconscious mind flashes the signal, do it now. Act immediately. Don't postpone the task to later or to tomorrow. How to motivate yourself. Several years ago, the 65-year-old owner of a successful cosmetics company decided to retire from work. That year, his friends celebrated his birthday with great fanfare. They always asked him to share the secret formula behind his business success, but he would always evade the question. On his 75th birthday, his friends asked him the same question again. This time, he decided to share his secret with everyone. He revealed that his secret formula was hope. Hope had motivated him to build a successful business, and it was this hope that also motivated women to buy his products. Hope is what continuously motivates you. It gives you a purpose to achieve your goals. You too should motivate yourself every day by observing your progress. How to motivate others. When Napoleon Hill was a child, he was quite mischievous. His mother had passed away, and his father believed Napoleon to be the worst child. When his father remarried, Napoleon resolved not to let his stepmother into his heart. After the wedding, his father took his new wife into Napoleon's room and said, "This is Napoleon, the worst boy in the world." Hearing this made Napoleon very angry, and he stood up to defend himself. However, his stepmother said, "The worst boy? No, absolutely not. He is the smartest and most sensible boy. We just need to bring out these qualities in him." These words shook Napoleon because until then he had only heard negative things from his father. As days passed, Napoleon's stepmother encouraged him to become the good boy she believed he was. This behavior taught Napoleon how to motivate others. You can do this by showing trust in others and fostering confidence in them. Before motivating others, you must convince them that you trust them. Let them know that you believe they can achieve anything and that you are always there to support them. Share stories of people who initially failed but ultimately succeeded because of their positive mental attitude. Remember, never give up. Success will follow. Attract, don't repel wealth. George Stephy had to spend a long time in the hospital, where he had plenty of time to read and think. He read the popular book Think and Grow Rich, which helped him understand the value of money. After finishing the book, George came up with the idea of selling shirt boards. Shirt boards are used to fold ironed clothes, and laundry shops were willing to buy them for $4 each. George thought about printing advertisements on each shirt board so that he could charge advertisers and earn extra money. After leaving the hospital, George started his business. Initially, he faced many challenges, but he saw them as steps leading to success. His business gradually progressed, and to accelerate it, George came up with an idea. He printed advertisements on one side of the board and started printing puzzles, recipes, and games on the other side. His customers loved this new concept, and the demand for his product increased. George became successful because he read many books and planned his activities properly. Most successful people read self-help books, which help them stay positive. Positive thinking attracts success and wealth. It's crucial to have high goals and to write them down. When you write down your goals, they automatically register in your brain, and subconsciously you begin planning for them. How to find satisfaction in your job. Jerry Osum was a sales manager who loved his job and always gave 100%. Like all of us, he had days when he faced significant challenges and felt disheartened. Therefore, he started reading self-help books and learned 3 important lessons. First, control your negative emotions. Second, set high goals for your job. Third, learn the principles of success and apply them. Jerry's reading habit helped him face every challenge with a positive mental attitude. He studied the company manual and applied what he learned to his job. Jerry stepped up as a leader and began to motivate his colleagues. Together, they increased the company's sales significantly. Jerry received a promotion, but more than the promotion, he was happy that he could add great value to the job he loved so much. Satisfaction is the joy you get from doing your work. It depends on your mental attitude, and only you have control over it. Develop a habit of reading self-help books. These books will help you learn, think, and plan for success. Your magnificent obsession. Once, a wealthy businessman encountered a man in his office from the Boys Club of America who was asking for a small donation. Hearing the request for donations upset the businessman. He said, "Every day, countless people come asking for help, so please leave my office immediately." The visitor stood calmly and simply said, "Sir, I understand that you might not want to give your wealth to the poor. However, I have something I definitely want to give to you, a small blessing. God bless you, sir." After saying this, the man left. The businessman couldn't stop thinking about the man's words. A few days later, he visited the club and met the man. He pulled out a check for $500,000 and said, "I want to make a donation, but I have one request. Please don't tell anyone who made this donation. I don't want people to think I'm kind. I don't want children to aspire to be like me, a ruthless and sinful man. Giving is an essential part of success. The more you give, the more blessings you receive. You may not always have the money to help, but you can still offer kindness, blessings, and hope with your words. If you help others, you will find more happiness and success. It provides a peace that no worldly wealth can offer." Conclusion. So you've learned about achieving success through a positive mental attitude, PMA. If you change your attitude, you can change your life. Remove the traps of negative thinking, such as fear, anger, and self-doubt from your mind. These only weaken and frighten you. Instead, cultivate courage and compassion within yourself. If you truly believe you can, you will find a way. Never be discouraged by failure. See it as an opportunity leading to success. You are the leader of your own thoughts. View every situation with a positive perspective. Just trying to do this can bring significant changes to your life. Before asking for a raise or a promotion, ask yourself, do I really deserve this? Have I added value to the company? Instead of thinking about what the company can do for you, think about what you can do for the company. Rise above focusing on yourself and try to understand others. Promote qualities like kindness and honesty within yourself. Open your heart and help others if you are capable. Believe that the more you give, the more you will receive back. This is a law of nature. What you give will return to you. The truly successful people are those who are ready to share and give more value to others. You have the freedom to choose between the two sides of the coin. If you choose a positive mental attitude, nothing can stop you from advancing. If you choose negativity, no one can save you from sinking. What you choose is entirely up to you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. I hope this summary not only provided you with valuable insights, but also inspired you to take action. If you found this summary helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss out on our future summaries. We love sharing content that can truly make a difference in your life. A difference in your life. Before you go, please drop a comment below sharing one positive change you plan to implement from today's lesson. Remember, your attitude shapes your future, and the journey to success begins with a single step. See you in the next summary.